Crawfordsville Peachcast, hosted by Dave Peach. The Peachcast is sponsored by Central Indiana Rubber Products, Power for You.
Crawfordsville Peachcast. I'm Dave Peach, and Dave Meyer joins me. Dave, how are you?
I'm fantastic, Dave. Glad to be back, my friend.
We are going to talk about Ed Wood. This is the season ender for season 3 of Untoasted. How about that?
Wow. You know, we get hot in the spring, and we wind it up, Dave.
Amazing. Amazing to think. We have done, in case you're keeping track, she's having a baby. Okay. Talk radio, Sunset, Dick, 8 Men Out, Godzilla versus Mecha Godzilla.
Mecha, yes.
Bullworth, not Woolworth, but Bullworth. Absolute Power, Gene Hackman and Melora Hardin, with their it was kind of like ice dancing, you know.
It was. There was 80s. Some ice dancing
baby. A little ice dancing.
Chilly.
Xanadu and Ed Wood. Oh, and we also did Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas because we wanted to do Hunter S. Thompson. And we also picked up Paper Lion and Thank God It's Friday. Thank God It's Friday was the 50th. Paper Lion, we were so sure that Detroit was going to make the Super Bowl that we said, you know what, Alex Karras, Alan Alda, and your friend, Lauren Hutton, you know, we had to go on that, and didn't happen. Of course. Didn't happen. Today it is movie number 58, the final movie of Season 3 Untoasted. It is Ed Wood. We go back to Johnny Depp.
Yes, Dave. Johnny Depp. Before he was big Johnny Depp, but he wasn't gargantuan Johnny Depp. And I think it's a great performance. I
would agree. We've got Martin Landau as Bela Lugosi. And, you know, when you think about it, you know, it was like a perfect 10. It's a perfect storm for Martin Landau to play Bela Lugosi. It was a match made in Hungary, something like that. One of those, Transylvania, maybe. I don't know.
No, it was. I mean, it's like the facial bone structure of how people remember Bela Lugosi, which is Bela Lugosi as Dracula. Like, he had that in place, and then it was like the perfect role. His age, the fact that it was, it kind of came together, that it ended up being Tim Burton, and then Tim Burton decided to do it in black and white, and a lot of things came together, but man, what a performance. And it's fun. It's fun and funny.
Sarah Jessica Parker, SJP. Patricia Arquette, and I assume she's related to Rosanna.
Yes, I believe so.
We got Bill Murray.
I love Bill in this.
What was his character name? Benjamin Button or something? Or
Dave, I'm gonna have to keep looking to find.
You'll have to look that one up.
Information, but
we've got G.D. Spradlin. We're gonna finally get his name right.
G.D.
Spradlin, and we're just going to go ahead right now, since we're talking about G.D. Spradlin, and say he is the first recipient of the Untoasted Lifetime Achievement Award,
which is unique. And yes. I'm guessing he picked up a few awards, during his active career. But I bet there weren't many A, lifetime, and B, lifetime so far after he has no longer been living.
In case you did not know, G.D. Spradlin, and a lot of people probably are saying, well, what about Jack Warner? Well, we've got another award for Jack Warner.
Right.
I mean, he was like
Jack Warden.
Jack Warden. Yes. I'm sorry. Jack. Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly. And I'll get his name right the next time. Jack Warden. Jack Warden. Okay.
But GD holds a different place in our movie heart here on the Untoasted world.
I'm going to squeeze you. I intend to squeeze you. I love that.
I do not like. What does he say? I do not like.
Yeah, I don't like your silk suits and all that. You come in here and the Tropigallo. Making a move on the Tropigallo. The way he talks in that meeting is unbelievable. It is awesome. We're talking about Godfather 2. He was Senator Geary, G.D. Spradlin. He was from Oklahoma. He was 90 at the time of his passing. He lived on a ranch in San Luis Obispo, California. I mean, you can't make this stuff up.
No,
it was a cattle ranch. It was a cattle ranch.
Wow.
He was 90 years old. He died of natural causes. He was born in Pauls Valley, Oklahoma. He attended the University of Oklahoma.
Boy.
And you would imagine he probably had dinner with Barry Switzer, you would think.
Probably, and luckily at no point in his adult life did anybody try to beat the accent out of him.
No, it was thick and it was lovely. One-on-One, he was the coach. Ben Bradley in Dick, his last movie in 1999. This one, Reverend Lemon in 1994's Ed Wood. Other movies, oh, by the way, The War of the Roses, North Dallas Sporty, another coaching accolade there. MacArthur, Apocalypse Now, and as we mentioned, Godfather 2. And he was also on so many TV shows that we couldn't even possibly mention them all.
Yeah, no, so many. And yeah, very recognizable. And, I think back when I'm a kid and I'm watching stuff, I don't think like, oh, that guy's a good character actor. I think like, oh, that guy's either scary or that guy's a, SOB or that guy's, I wouldn't want that guy to be my enemy or, and that's the GD, right? That's where he shined.
Mr. Spradlin. And we will talk about Ed Wood coming up next. We should thank our sponsor, Central Indiana Rubber, CIR, Power for You, 123. Hello, Todd. And, I've got to say, I watched this movie, Ed Wood. You're going to have to tell me how it did at the box office and all that. I hope you've done some research there.
I have.
I did not have a chance to look at that. Number 58 in the Untoasted series, the Season 3 finale for us, 1994's Ed Wood. It is next on the Crawfordsville Peachcast. Central Indiana Rubber Products provides the power for you. Central Indiana Rubber Products, or CIR, keeps farm equipment and local manufacturing processes running with gaskets, belts, seals, and O-rings, among a variety of other products and services. Employee-owned and always customer-focused. Central Indiana Rubber Products, 989 West, 83 North, Crawfordsville, and at indianarubber.com. Central Indiana Rubber Products, or CIR, power for you. Ed Wood, 1994. What a great year 1994 was for movies. We had Shawshank Redemption. We had Cool Runnings. We had Quiz Show. And we had a little movie that you might have heard of. It's by Chris Berman here. You might have heard of this movie, Forrest Gump.
Yeah.
Forrest Gump.
People were seeing Forrest Gump more than once in the theater. And, Dave, it was not a short movie.
Life is like a box of chocolates, or however.
Well, it'll never not
Mandela,
be.
What is that? What is the actual line? Life is like
a box of chocolates.
I don't think it's that. I think it's different. Okay. I think it's like.
You never know.
Yeah, look up the exact line. It's one of those Mandela effect deals. So I want to. Right. We'll try to get it. But 1994, and we'll talk about the Academy Awards that night when Martin Landau won the award. But let's get to the movie. And here's my initial thought. When I watched this movie, and I watch it on my phone, so I'm not watching it. Maybe one day I can get the theater
not
here
exactly
in
the big screen.
Yeah, I would love to see some of these on the big screen, but it's highly unlikely. And I don't even go down to the big TV room and watch them. I watch them on my own, and I watch them in parts, so it's completely different than a movie experience. But initially, when I watched this thing, I thought, I needed to prepare to watch this movie. I'm an outsider. I felt like an outsider, and I'm sure that when this movie was released, there were many E.T. interviews and probably some Entertainment Weekly run-ups for this movie to prep you for what we would see and why it was or is significant.
Yes. Yeah, and you do kind of feel like you need that, right?
I caught on quickly because I go, okay, it's about Ed Wood. He's, but when it first started, I go, why is it in black and white? why are we interested in Ed Wood?
Right. And I think that's where I got to give, first of all, this whole thing was kicked around. There were two guys in film school at USC who first wanted to do a documentary about Ed Wood. It's almost like Ed Wood is the kind of thing you want to discover in college because it's so like bizarre and I don't want to say pop cultural derivative, but it has to do with this, this guy who made these movies in a very unconventional style. But the fact is, he did get these movies made, right? I mean, they did get made, and it was more than one. So, he has this, legacy in the Hollywood world of like, it's like, I don't know. It's like the guy that's, I don't know, missed the most cuts, or something in the golf world.
Yeah.
You've still got to play that many times on the circuit. Well, Ed Wood was that guy at a very, very low level, and he did it poorly, and he did it, involving, just so happened, Bela Lugosi at the end of his life, right? Maybe we'd have never, ever had an Ed Wood movie or an Ed Wood perspective if it did not involve at least one significant movie star who was no longer a movie star, but everybody still knew of Bela Lugosi. I mean, there's no reason I or you should have known about Bela Lugosi except when you're a kid. Horror movies, and the most famous horror movies are like Dracula and Frankenstein. So he was, at least in my mind, the original Dracula. So anyway, great premise. Even if you made this up, it would be a good premise. But the fact that it actually happened, it's bizarre.
So here we are. It's a movie about making movies.
Mm-hmm.
And so you have, and I'm always thinking on the movie set, so they've got a movie set, and then they're actually filming people that are filming people, supposedly.
Right. Yes, they've exactly.
So there's some layers there.
Yes.
And you've got, as you mentioned, the layer of Bela Lugosi.
Right.
And then you've got Martin Landau, an older actor, who wins an Academy Award for playing an older actor.
Right.
In a movie about a director or producer that, kind of like what's that guy, Hudson Hawk or Edsel or something like that.
Right.
Kind of like so bad it's good. There's probably some kind of diagram that you don't want to be a movie that's mediocre. You want it to either be really bad or really good. So you've got all that layers, and now here we are, two guys talking about a movie that was made in 1994 about making a movie that was in 1959. So I'm not sure where we are in the time machine right now.
We're carrying history, in rocks and pails forward. Just slowly, Dave.
We've got a great group of actors. We talked about G.D. Spradlin, Bill Murray.
Yes.
Did we ever get his name in the movie?
You know what? I was turning the pages, and okay, I'm going to look
cool
that.
Name. It's a really cool
Okay,
name.
the Forrest Gump quote is, "Life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get."
Okay, that's it. Yeah, I think it's the second part that people might get mixed up. But you're going to look up.
No, but people. What happens is people mix two together, right? That's what they do.
Kind of like that Luke, I am your father, or Luke, I am your father.
Right. He was Bunny Breckinridge.
Bunny.
Dave, which actually, I'm serious. A real character, a real person, Bunny Breckinridge, Dave.
We note that. So we've got also Criswell.
Yeah, Chris.
I love Criswell.
Oh, Dave.
He's kind of like a Kreskin guy.
Kind of definitely a Kreskin guy. And the fact that, kind of a cool, if you're going to do a movie about Ed Wood, like the first way to kind of clue the audience in, whether they know or don't know, is that it's going to be campy, is the way they open this movie, which was they set it up like it's kind of a horror movie open with like a TV show, like a Friday night introduced a horror movie character comes out of the casket, and it's our character actor friend Jeffrey, also very busy during this era.
And you're talking about also Vampira.
Oh, Vampira, yes, that would be
what's the host?
Who? And I was thinking, like, okay, is this a real person that then inspired Elvira, or was, did we rip this person off too? Or my research, it was limited, Dave.
What at the end of the movie they explain that Vampira sued.
Oh yeah,
she sued Elvira unsuccessfully.
Right. Yeah,
saying that Elvira ripped her off, and I would say, probably
giddy up.
Probably, yeah. I don't. Again, I will let the litigation work.
That was
work
David and
this.
I, as a record so far with this podcast. We don't comment on things under jurisdiction.
Exactly. There could be some statute of limitation. Yeah. Is it statute or statute of limitation?
I guess it could be either.
Statutes of limitations. Statute limitations. Yeah.
Yes.
Speaking of statues, Tor Johnson was played by George the Animal. That wasn't even funny. George the Animal Steele played Tor Johnson, a wrestler.
Now, was Tor real?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It had to be.
Tor was real. Yeah.
And he did look like that too.
Tor Johnson was real. If you look in the Golden Turkey set that I sent you to review, Dave. And I guess you didn't review.
No, I
points
did,
off for Dave. No,
I did. I'm looking at Tor's face.
Yes, look at and
his actual name was Carl Eric Tor.
Ah, gotcha. So we had Ed Wood, and he's got to raise money to make movies, and some people pay, some people don't. Some people require him to, have a party in a meat market.
But he's worked very hard, Dave. He's always his attitude is strong.
So let's get this pinned down.
Yes.
Ed Wood, director, producer of bad movies.
Yes.
And it's interesting that Orson Welles says he can't get funding for Don Quixote because we're kind of, I don't know if that was intentional, but Ed Wood does fit into that Cervantes, Don Quixote kind of deal.
Swinging at the windmills, Dave, every time.
Yeah. So he's got to try to get money, and it's kind of funny as people, maybe offer some money, and then they go, hey, and my brother would like to be in it, and Ed would say, sure, he's fantastic. A woman bounces a check, but the meat man spends money to get the first movie, Bride of Adam, released.
Yes, which was then re-released, right? As what was Bride of? What do they call it after that? It was I forget.
Now I did not get this. Sarah Jessica Parker got written out, and it was. But why was the release so chaotic? Of Bride of the Atom. I mean, they couldn't even get in the theater.
I didn't understand that. I thought that the audience did not understand, and there was some kind of revolt. My favorite part about the whole thing is when they jump in the cab together and escape. And as they're going out of town, Bela Lugosi says, and that was the premiere.
Yes, Martin Landau. Yeah, and they all just kind of sat in their seats. Like very very polite school kids in a bus.
Dave, there's a bizarre rhythm to this, which makes sense. I love the fact that it's in black and white.
Mm-hmm.
It's perfect. It's like a movie that should be in black and white.
We do have to point out that Ed Wood was a cross-dresser.
Absolutely. Said that he had started doing it as a child. He was his biggest fear in the Army was not actually dying in combat, but being discovered by a medic wearing a bra and panties.
Yeah. Argyle sweaters.
Yeah, he is a big fan of the Angora.
Did I get
texture?
That right? Argyle,
I think
Angora?
Argyle.
Angora.
I believe Argyle is a certain design.
I got you.
Angora comes from a certain animal.
It's some kind of rabbit from some place. Was that in the movie or was that in the notes?
No, I think that was in the movie, and I think it's also true. The thing that I looked at, watching this movie and then also doing research, like everything that I was looking up was like, yeah, that's in the movie. That's accurate. That's accurate. So it's like in my head, I thought they were playing around more with the facts because they could have, right? I mean, I would have bought in the same way, but for the most part, this seems to be pretty close to who the folks were.
One thing I enjoyed was when Ed Wood would discover some stock footage.
Oh, that was his favorite.
And he would say, "That you're just sitting on this stuff?
With the buffalo.
We can use this.
Yeah.
We can use this."
And some of it's like war. It's clearly, World War II, like Army stock footage.
And Bela Lugosi dies, unfortunately. Yeah. Bela Lugosi was
speaking of stock footage.
He was portrayed as a drug addict, which sounds like he probably was.
Yeah.
Out of work actor, trying to make a buck, all that, kind of a pathetic but lovable figure. And for some reason, Ed Wood films a little bit of Bela before he dies.
Right. And Bella's almost like, what are we doing? Where's the crew? And he's like, oh, this is just some B crew stuff. And what's my motivation? So, yeah, he shoots these scenes of him outside his home, basically, with no real, he gives them kind of a premise, but there's not really anything to it. And then, he uses that basically as the way to sell, Bela Lugosi's last movie, right? I mean, that's his whole ticket for getting the next one made.
The entire movie was made after Bela died in the movie, and he was billed as the lead. It's Plan 9. It ended up being Plan 9 from Outer Space, starring Bela Lugosi. He gets a Baptist church in California to pay for the movie because he says, okay, you want to make some movies on the apostles? Well, this is how it works. You give me money to make this movie, and then with the profits that we'll make, you'll be able to make your 12 apostle movies.
I mean, Dave, I've heard this, it's been outlined in different forms, probably as old as time.
He got it done. He got it done.
He got it done.
First down.
Oh, my God.
And that's an Ed Wood. First down.
It's an Ed Wood. First down.
we are playing. That's where Spradlin comes in as the pastor who actually baptizes the entire cast.
The entire cast. Now, okay, so the way it works there is you got some earthlings and you got some aliens, and then like Bela is like the king of the ghouls, and Criswell is himself.
And I will say that they brought in a guy that was going to play Bela Lugosi, but he could not expose himself below his nose. Right. He was kind of like he was veiled, and they thought he looked like Bela Lugosi, and he was a chiropractor who was actually in another one of his movies, I understand.
Of course, once you get to know him,
And then once they get into Plan 9 from Outer Space, it kind of gets typical here where it hits a roadblock, and Ed Wood is upset, and his creative direction is being taken away, and he says, "Get me to a bar." He gets to a bar. This cannot be the way it actually happened. He gets to a bar, and lo and behold, there in a booth at the bar is Orson Welles.
Yes. Orson. Dave, I was not expecting Orson Welles.
No, well, I knew that Orson Welles was in the movie. I knew that a character was going to play Orson Welles in the movie. I did not know. I thought maybe I'd missed it.
Right. Yeah, I was more, where's GD?
Yeah. Yeah, I was much more. And then Orson tells him to go back in there and keep fighting. And he goes back in, and then movie directing magic ensues at that point.
Yes. No, I tell you what, this is first of all, it's a fun movie, right? Like if you have a big problem with this movie, like you're the kind of person that says, no, ice cream's just not for me. This is just it's a cotton candy romp with very flavorful performances. I mean, Sarah Jessica Parker's great. Bill Murray's great. Um, Max Casella, who, if you go all the way back to Wonder Years, I think he was the sidekick. Later on, The Sopranos, off and on for years, and I've seen him in other movies as well. But he's a good character actor. I mean, this is just a fun movie, and Johnny Depp, pulls it all together. And he's, I don't know. Like I looked up and read about Ed Wood. And it's like he's the Ed Wood that you hope Ed Wood was, right?
Oh, I mean, I would say that he hits it spot on. We don't have a lot of footage of Ed Wood. At least I did not see that on the. I did not check out to see if Ed Wood was ever interviewed on the World Wide Web or YouTube or all that. And again, these movies are the beginning of the conversation, and who knows,
Right.
We might do Plan 9 from Outer Space.
It's out there
In
I
season
know.
4. We might
It's out there.
do that. The premiere of Plan 9 from Outer Space. It's a rainy night, and Ed Wood is running late. He gets sopping wet in his convertible, and the place is absolutely packed
Right.
with people. Is that accurate?
You know what? That's one that I did not get fact checked. In my head, that had to be. Well, we're at the end of the movie,
Yeah.
right? So I felt like that was the Ed Wood homage, fantasy ending that he finally got. I don't know. You know what? There's so many things that I did fact check or read about that were correct. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, I guess it depends on where and how many friends he invited.
Without question, Tim Burton did a great job drawing people into a theater to film that, because those are real people. That wasn't some kind of computer generated crowd. Those were actual human beings sitting down. I would imagine their day was very long.
Probably days, long days, I would imagine. And but I mean, I could watch that scene. Okay, there's like maybe halfway through the movie, Bill Murray has a little speech where he basically says he's going to go to Mexico and possibly get some surgery with his partner. So he talks about that. Okay, and then later they cut to him. And it's kind of like in the middle of pulling some things together, and he kind of starts on a speech. And he basically is giving you the update that things didn't go so well in Mexico. But his delivery, Dave, and his timing is just so good. I want to just watch that scene over and over. So if you like, if you're certain actors you like, you can like this movie. If you like, Tim Burton movies, this has got Tim Burton stuff, but it's also, it's not Edward Scissorhands. It's not Beetlejuice. It operates on a different wavelength. It's a little, to me, it wasn't as crazy, I guess. I mean, all this was mostly plausible in a kind of a Walter Mitty sort of, world that Ed Wood operated in. And again, as bad as the movies were and as whatever, this guy had the, audacity, gumption, and follow through to get multiple movies made. So amazing.
We will end segment 2 with the words of Criswell.
Okay.
Greetings, my friends. We are all interested in the future, for that is where you and I are going to spend the rest of our lives. And remember, my friend, future events such as these will affect you in the future. Woo! You can't argue.
No, it feels dude-like. It feels like if the Coen brothers would have wrote that and we heard Jeff Bridges delivering it as Lebowski, I would have said, yeah, it sounds like the dude. Or Dave would correct me. Nope. Not the dude.
Not the dude. Well, we're going to go back to the Academy Awards in 1995 when Landau takes the Best Supporting Actor honor. We will talk about movies then, and I will ask Dave Meyer if he can pick out the one basketball card that I have in my Golden Turkey Awards book, and we'll talk about that with Harry and Michael Medved. I wish we had Harry and Michael Medved on the show. That'd be great.
Okay.
But they authored the Golden Turkey Awards, 1980. We'll talk about that coming up on the Crawfordsville Peachcast. Dave Peach here with Brandon Kappas from BK Home Improvement. And Brandon, you have an exciting announcement.
Yes, Dave, thank you. We're excited to announce Zahn's Floor Covering is now Zahn's Flooring and Design Center, acquired by BK Home Improvement.
I understand Bob Zahn will be staying to help.
We are excited to have that, and absolutely, Zahn's Flooring and Design Center is happy to have Bob Zahn still involved in that same local presence they're used to dealing with.
There has been a little confusion. BK Home Improvement is not affiliated with BK Painting or BK Property Management. You are located at your headquarters in Lebanon, Indiana.
Yes, we are excited to expand both brand names inside of both markets for Lebanon and Crawfordsville. Please come visit our showroom at 310 North Green Street, as we will consistently be redesigning and offering new, innovative products and technologies.
And you are still going to say,
Zahn's Flooring and Design Center. We are everywhere you walk.
Crawfordsville Peachcast. Let's get this out of the way. The Golden Turkey Awards. You know Harry and Michael Medved, don't you?
I do, Dave. They've raised their profile much over many years, doing the Razzies, right? Is that their thing?
Well, they've got, this book is called The Golden Turkeys.
Turkeys, okay, that's, yes.
Famously,
Turkeys.
as you know, our movie Xanadu created, or was the reason, Xanadu and one other movie, can't remember what it was, created were the inspiration for the Razzies. Were the inspiration for the Razzies. So
okay,
we'll talk about that. But the worst film of all time, you go to the back of the book, 1980s, the Golden Turkey Award, Plan 9 from Outer Space, 1959. It won. We've got, and there's several pages here. It would be, it's cool to see Tor Johnson and Vampira, and then see Tor Johnson terrorizing someone in an automobile.
Yes.
This book is so old, it's shedding, and it actually is not good for my allergies. And it's been with me for a long time. I think I'm going to have to get another copy. But real quick, before we get to those Academy Awards, and by golly, there's a lot of people out there saying, is he going to get to this?
Is he getting there?
So here we go. And I'll give you some hints.
Okay.
But the bookmark is a basketball card, and if you can... It's one of those cards it's like a 3x5 card on its side. Okay, look at that real quick. That's how it is.
Okay, so it's a 3x5 card, and it's signed.
No, it's not signed. No,
it's not.
It's what I keep. This man played at a major university in the early 70s. That's clue number one.
Okay. Am I allowed to ask any qualifying questions?
Yeah, you can. I'll allow a question along the way. Yes, right now.
Okay, my first qualifying question, is ABA or NBA?
Let's see, ABA or NBA. I'm going to say, according to this card, ABA.
Okay.
ABA. He played in college from 70 to 73.
Okay.
He is 6'11".
Wow.
He is 6'11". Actually, he pro basketball. I guess he did maybe play for the Bucks. Let's say he did. He signed with the Bucks. This card says Bucks.
Okay.
So apparently, after the merger, he played with the Bucks. Let's see. Where is he from? That will give you nothing. He is from Den Helder, Netherlands.
Wow.
His home is in Huntington, California. Again, he is 6'11". He won. I guess this. Actually, the hint. You know what I figured out is the hints don't help.
Dan Issel.
Nope.
Swin Nader.
Yes. Unbelievable. I thought the hints were not landing.
Okay.
Unbelievable. How did you get Swin Nader?
That was my second guess. 6'11".
Wow.
Like I had a lot of things in my mind.
Swin Nader.
Yes.
You got the silver.
Yeah, Swin
That's
was
amazing.
He was Bill Walton's backup.
Yeah.
Right?
So was the Netherlands? Did that kind
yes,
of get?
That
okay,
helped me too.
I got you.
That helped
okay,
me
so
too.
you
that did.
because I had no idea. Now
But I also thought Dan Issel, for some reason, might have been. That's why I was like, well, maybe it was Dan Issel.
Now,
because I was thinking you're more likely to have a Dan Issel card, Dave, than a Swin Nader card.
I've got Swin. You can see it right now. Swin Nader on the Zoom call.
Oh yeah,
yeah, there he is. Swin Nader, as Jim Nantz would say, unimaginable now. This man sat on the bench for 3 years.
Right, didn't play.
He averaged 6 points and 3 points a game.
Right.
At UCLA. He was behind Bill Walton. He got very little playing time. And he was okay with that at UCLA. And,
solid. He was
Southern
solid
California, early 70s. There are probably some things.
He wasn't being drafted at that point, Dave.
No. And, it's incredible that a guy would sit there on the bench at UCLA.
Right.
He didn't. And he didn't transfer.
Right.
Now, of course, I don't know what would have happened.
He'd be gone. He'd be gone.
But anyway, Swin Nader. So we got Golden Turkey Awards. Now let's go to those Academy Awards, 1995, and they were hosted by, of all people, David Letterman.
Right.
That was the year.
Yeah, his first and only. I recall not watching, but kind of maybe seeing part of it at the time. I had a 4-year-old, I believe, so that could have been part of it. I didn't think he did bad, but I remember him being freaking roasted in the critics, basically.
He started out with the Uma Oprah.
Oh yeah,
he's not Academy Award. I mean, he's quirky.
He is quirky, and he also he's the guy that's more apt to make fun of. Like, I give credit. Conan seemed to this year strike a balance that I haven't seen many people be able to do. You're either kind of everybody, you're out there. Billy Crystal was like in our, post Carson, probably considered the, before Jimmy Kimmel, he was the guy that did it the most often that everybody was okay with.
Yeah.
And they've tried a lot of combinations, right? A lot of one-offs. It's a hard job, but Dave, at that time, and Dave was hot. So, it was a setback for him, I'm sure, because he just right then is when he'd moved to CBS, all that stuff.
I would say with hosting the Academy Awards, you kind of get going, and then you try a couple of just haymakers,
right? That
are just shockers, or things that nobody else would have the guts to say, and then you kind of move on from there. And maybe there's a little bit of a reaction that you can throw in an ad lib here and there, but you're pretty much a caretaker, I think, after the initial show.
Yeah,
after you start the show, you're kind of a caretaker.
It's kind of it seems like, okay, you got to be a part of the open in some way that's good and memorable, ideally, and then you got to land a few jokes early, and then you can do some stuff that's maybe a little here and there. But boy, feels like, at least back then, especially too, when the numbers were definitely bigger, if you stumbled, it's almost like the lights got hotter, and the the lens on the host got a little, it was a bigger deal. And this was, we've talked about this, but this was the era of Rudy Martzke. And I know that, doesn't apply to this, but if it was that big of a deal among sports announcing and sports announcers, the Academy Awards are, among live entertainment events, top what? They got to be top 3, I guess. So, everybody and their brother was writing about the fact that Dave Letterman, who just, basically shook up the late night world, did what really nobody else had ever done, which is walk away from a late night job at one network to go to another direct competitor. So, Letterman was at his apex. So people, and also up to that point, especially when he was, following Johnny, Dave was critical darling, right? So this is probably the first time he had been universally filleted by critics.
So why didn't it land?
I think, I don't know. Dave, he used to talk about, like, he wasn't ever really a stand-up. Like, he did stand up to put himself in a position. People thought he was good because the thing that he had, the other comics were like, it's not his material, it's him, his confidence. He had great confidence, with what he felt was always, mediocre material or decent material. I mean, the stuff that he did, kind of the wisecracking stuff that was pure Letterman, was the stuff that you remember, and then he was involved in great skits and said really funny things as he got great writers over the years. But I mean, I saw him up close and saw how well he handled people in, just interviewing Joe on the street situations. And it blew me away. I was intimidated by how fast he was.
Now, an earlier Oscar, we saw Jack Palance win for City Slickers, and he did push-ups on stage. He's an older actor, and he did push-ups on stage.
He did, Dave, and people love that. And
they remember that.
He was showing off, Dave.
He was definitely showing off. Now, this one, another older actor, Martin Landau, wins Best Supporting Actor. As I remember, his speech was cut off by music.
Oh, yeah. And he, first of all, one of the most earnest I don't know if he expected to win, but he certainly had written thoughtfully out what he was going to say. Because, boy, he went through it. He took his time.
He did. Now, he beat out Samuel Jackson from Pulp Fiction.
Right.
Gary Sinise from Forrest Gump.
Yeah, it's a pretty, my recall was not any of this, so I was blown away.
And then a guy from Quiz Show.
Yes.
So, I think a lot of times when you think about it, you go back to, and I'm sure a lot of people are going back to 1974, the Oscar, might have been 75 for the ceremony, but Art Carney defeats Al Pacino. Al Pacino in Godfather 2 loses to Art Carney and Harry and Tonto, a movie about an old man and a cat. Okay. Al Pacino lost to Art Carney. And I think people thought, well, Art Carney is old, so why don't we give him an Oscar?
Yeah. Send him out. I'll be back.
Yeah. And I think in a similar fashion, when you look at Sinise and Jackson, they're kind of probably in that same boat. They said Martin Landau, and he did do a fantastic job as Bela Lugosi. I mean, it was absolutely spot on, perfect. It's kind of like that. Remember that old that musical Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde or whatever it was.
Yes.
Remember that one? And it didn't do very well, but it had the song "This Is the Moment." When the moment and the music are in rhyme or whatever, that was the moment for Martin Landau.
For sure.
That was his moment, and he absolutely just nailed it. I mean, he nailed it. Unbelievable.
Yeah, it truly, however it came, I wonder, this is like one of those things when you see the movie and then this, his Oscar speech, we're talking about all this stuff together. It's like, can you imagine anybody else doing this role? Because I'm sure, like anything else, there had to be other people considered, but who else?
Who would have? Yeah, it was movie magic, and it was the only time that an actor has won an Academy Award in a Tim Burton film.
Okay.
So
wow,
there is that, and we had some fun with 1994 music. You kind of had the Meatloaf comeback in 1994.
Yeah. He'd do anything for love.
And we had John Mellencamp with Michelle Indegelio-Cello. I remember announcing that song, but it was kind of like it was a wild. It was a Wild Night remake. It was really good. It's very good.
Yeah, it is. It's the Van Morrison song Wild Night. And she's like a bass player extraordinaire, and she sings, and it's like they do a duet. It was kind of a hot song. You
It
know,
was.
kind
It
of
was.
R&B mix, but funky.
You go back to 94, you got the Gin Blossoms, Found Out About You.
Ooh, and Hey Jealousy, right?
Yep.
That was mind-numbingly, catchy.
Ace of Base.
You're Not in Love.
No, I thought Ace of Base was All That She Wants Is
I'm
Another
sorry.
Baby, right?
Yes.
Yeah, you're
that's
getting
right.
you don't mess with me anymore.
Don't mess with Mr. Peach.
And then there were the Cranberries.
The Cranberries.
Linger.
Yeah,
Linger.
Dolores O'Riordan. Very Irish.
I think you also had Tupac, right? In the 94.
I think you're right.
Yeah, we had a lot of that. A lot of
big time for
emerging,
music and movies.
Emerging, yeah. And
Lots.
And in 94, you also had, and we talk about that, I watch Dallas and I see Victoria Principal, and I'm thinking, whoa. And then I'm thinking, I go back to 1994, and I see Mariah Carey on stage singing Hero, and I'm going, whoa, I forgot all about this.
Yeah. No, 94. There was a lot more going on.
Go back to Linda Ronstadt in FM. I mean, it's like, wow.
Okay, 94. When was the OJ? When did OJ happen?
I think that was 94. I think it was pretty close. Pretty close to 94.
You know what? I'm going to say this out loud, and we can nix it or Curtis can kill it. But isn't there a documentary about like an ESPN 30 by 30 about that night?
It's about that day because it was it could have been, I think
Arnold
it was 94.
Palmer's last U.S. Open, right? And there was like 2 or 3 other things happening.
Yeah, there were. I can't think what the others were. You had an NBA game, Finals game,
NBA Finals,
and there were
Bob Costas.
And what they did is they just kind of went around to all these events as this event is unfolding with the Bronco chase and O.J. Simpson in 1994. But yeah, you're right. I that was the summer of 94.
Oh, Dave, crazy!
If we got it right. So
no, I believe so.
Yeah, I think so.
I was in year 2 at Creative Street. I was young, Dave. We were both young.
Yeah, I was much younger then, and again, it was when I think about 1994, I do think about Entertainment Weekly magazine.
Yeah,
I love that magazine.
Yeah, it was good. No, Dave, I never cared. Like it's like People magazine kind of broke that door open a little bit, and then I didn't need it though. Entertainment Weekly struck the balance of whatever that was of pop culture, candy, and what I considered pretty good. Because it was a combo. There were music stuff in there and TV stuff in there and movie stuff in there. And so, yeah, Entertainment Weekly.
Had a lot of great lists in there as well. So 1994, we'll go back to 2025 at current time. But we did enjoy our trip back to 1994 with Ed Wood and 1959 with movie number 58, the final movie of Season 3 of Untoasted. We'll choose some more. We'll have Dave Meyer in our convertible driving around the world of movies in our mind, our metaphorical convertible.
It is, Dave. It's our, they have people go in the Criterion closet and pull out their documentaries. And we cruise the broad street in the mind of our listeners and talk through the rows and screens of the movies we peruse.
Selection show coming up. Again, Dave, thank you. This is the Crawfordsville Peachcast. We are sponsored by Central Indiana Rubber, CIR, Power for You, 1, 2, 3. Hello, Todd.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening to the Crawfordsville Peachcast, sponsored by Central Indiana Rubber Products. Join Dave Peach every week on Apple or Spotify. Please like, subscribe, and download the Crawfordsville Peachcast. This podcast was produced by Up There Media and is a presentation of Force Broadcasting Digital.